Just a quick note of congratulations to Glenn Youngkin for his win in Virginia. This is the first time in many months that I felt optimistic about the Republican Party. As you may know, I supported Donald Trump's agenda for the most part and voted for him twice. But I've been very concerned about those who became far more loyal to Trump the man than they were to conservative values and the long-term health of our country's institutions. It's been a year since I faced up to the fact that Trump had lost the election. Trump has still not admitted to that, and his diehard loyalists haven't either. This inability to take a punch and move on has already cost us the Senate. Since then, most Republicans have been tiptoeing around Trump's minions lest they be attacked as rhinos or worse. This is why Youngkin's victory feels so liberating. Trump gave his endorsement, but Youngkin didn't seem to want it much. Instead, he avoided being seen as an extension of the Trump years. Jeff Rowe, Youngkin's chief strategist, said, quote, "Candidates matter. We weren't defined by Obama or by Trump. We were defined by Glenn," close quote. Exactly. Republicans need candidates that appeal to citizens in general, not candidates who are using the divide as a tool for their own ambitions. Trump is already involved in midterm races, but Youngkin just showed us that in contested states, Trumpism is not the path to victory. Identifying areas of commonality is how you get a swing state back into harmony with conservative values. The vaccine debate is an example. Aggressive anti-vaxxers on the right are the sort of people who would rather that we lose indefinitely than to reach any common ground with Democrats. Youngkin has been openly pro-vaccine while firmly opposing mandates. That's exactly the right tack. There's a big difference between quietly deciding not to take a vaccine and flooding social media with anti-vaccination advocacy. One is a personal decision. The other is groupthink tribalism. In my view, the anti-vaxxers provoked Biden into the mandates with their aggressive stance during the Delta spike. I have no use for those people, and I have even less use for a president who lets an army of conspiracy buffs influence his behavior in any way. Youngkin played his cards just right on this issue. We should be winding down the pandemic and leaning into the economic recovery with everything we've got. Biden picks this moment to overreact to anti-vaxxers? Not smart. Strangely, Joe Biden is identified with Donald Trump. Democrats are realizing that their hatred of Trump made them so desperate for a candidate that could beat him that they went with the guy who was well past his expiration date. He's just not up to the job, and his numbers are in the dumper. Biden won Virginia by 10 points in 2020, but Terry McAuliffe dragging Joe into the governor's race only served to contaminate McAuliffe. Look, the country went through a terrible period with this pandemic. Our response as a nation revealed how ruinous to our politics the divide has become. It's more and more obvious to me that the independent voter is becoming a demographic worth targeting. Trump lost independents by 13% nationally. Youngkin won them by 9% in Virginia. Perhaps Youngkin's most effective meme was quoting McAuliffe as saying that parents shouldn't have much to say in what schools teach. This is going to be a big issue in the coming years. It's worth noting that Winsome Sears, the Republican who won for lieutenant governor in Virginia, is a black former Marine who is very strong on school choice. My gut tells me that this is the issue that might well drive a migration of African Americans out of the Democratic Party. Democrats called for reduced policing in the wake of George Floyd, but now Virginia has elected a Republican as Attorney General. Meanwhile, New York City elected a new mayor who is black, a former cop, and tough on crime. Just saying. Anyway, I'm feeling optimistic as we enter the holiday season. Virginia's a swing state again. I didn't see that coming. We all may have to dial back our spending this Christmas. The supply pipeline is clogged out here on the left coast. At last count, over 70 container ships are at anchor outside the ports, waiting to be unloaded. The empty spaces on store shelves will be there for a while. Let's let that inconvenience remind us of why offshoring our manufacturing to communist China was such a bad idea. Let's all snap back to our best selves as we approach the new year. Let's find conservative candidates who share Trump's can-do attitude, but not his penchant for P.T. Barnum-style appeals to the lowest common denominator. Yes, Santa Claus, there is a Virginia, and I, for one, am feeling pretty darn good about that. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel and then click the little bell to get notifications.